Welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage. Today we're going to be having a look at ADA. This is going to be a lower time frame video. We do have our higher time frame video up above, so check that out if you haven't already. Let's get into the charts and see what's going on. Okay, so before we jump into the lower degree counting here, we're going to talk about two of the higher time frame ideas that we're currently tracking. Now, the first one is that we are still looking for a fifth wave, target being this zone here of this 20 cents 59 to this 1603. And this would be aligning with the idea of actually seeing another 5-wave move. The problem is that at the moment, the structure down is not great for a 5-wave move. We're going to go over this in a second. But the other way we were looking at this is once again, looking for a 5-wave move down in a C, looking for this 1859 to this 1501 if we are basing this off of this high here. Now, we also have another target here within this where we are looking for the Z wave to potentially be between this 121 and this 1382. Now we have come down into this zone, but the way that we've come down doesn't really satisfy the idea of a 5-wave sequence because it's very difficult to count this move here as a 5-wave move from this point. So because of that fact, I'm just looking out for the possibility here that this could still be within the B wave or within the wave 4. Now what this could then mean is that we could still be looking at this move, looking to push up one more time here before we get that clear structure to the downside in a 5-wave move. Or alternatively, we are looking at something like a diagonal pattern. So we're going to go over that in a second. But within this idea, we could still potentially see a push back up into this 48.19 to this 37.41. And we need to just be aware of that idea, as well as that if this is a fourth wave, that target could be even higher here towards this 62.65 would be really as high as we'd want to see this fourth wave bounce, but effectively we'd be looking for something within this red box area as a possible target for a fourth wave. So if we continue to hold this high of this 46.17, then it would be likely that we're going to see this develop as a 5-wave structure. And the way that we'd have to look at this is something along these lines where we'd say that this is our 4 or our B wave over here. And what we have here is the potential of forming a diagonal where this is 1, 2. We're looking for 3, 4, and 5. Now, within this idea, once again, this bit over here is quite choppy. So I'm just being mindful that, there could be something else going on here. Now, if we are looking at this as a third wave, we cannot cross this 1807. And what we'd then be looking for would be the potential that either we have this move playing out in this way, where if I come down a little bit closer here, what we are saying is that this first leg to the downside over here is an A, this is a B, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and what we are looking for is actually forming a diagonal in the fifth wave. Now if this is going to be forming a diagonal in the fifth wave here, we would expect to not cross back above this 2580. We'd be looking for a 3-wave move to the upside here. Now, we could potentially complete into this high here already of this 24.85, in which case our 1-to-1 is going to be here at this 23.15. So what we'd be expecting then is a 3-wave move to the downside like this, looking to take out this wave 1 low, and then seeing another 3-wave move up and another 3-wave move down in the fifth wave. Now, if we are looking at something like this, what we'd then be looking for is, like I said, 3 waves down, 3 waves up, 3 waves down again. If, however, we do push up one more time here, and we do look to push back up into this 786 to this 50% level, it is possible that this B wave could still need to push up one more time, something like this. So until we actually break back above the 786 and invalidate this idea here, I'm going to be looking out for that potential that we still have another leg to the downside here in at least a 3-wave move. If this move starts to break down in a bigger way and we push down past this 22.15, then the likelihood is that we're starting to get some extension. Now, we do have a target here off of this fourth wave, which would be this 22.98 to this 21.64. So this is a common area that we would look to complete the fifth wave. If we start to overshoot this zone, then it's more probable that something else is going on within this. And then what we'd be looking for after the completion of this move here, because this whole move here would effectively just make up the third wave. So if we are looking at that move, what we'd then be looking for is basically this move to complete, breaking this wave 1 low. Now this is important. I'd want to see a break of this 21.93. If we do get that break, then I'll be looking for 3 waves up and then another 3 waves down, looking for this fifth wave to complete. Once we have a third wave completed, we can get an invalidation point because the fifth wave should be shorter than that as well. And we'll tend to interact with the bottom trend lines with these. We'll have to keep an eye on it and see exactly what's playing out to actually get a better indication of that. Now, another way that we could argue that this is playing out as a third wave, as a diagonal, would be something more along these lines. Now, What we would then have to say is that effectively this is A, B, and C down into this point here. We'd have this as a 3-wave move up. We have 3 waves down. We have 3 waves back up. And now we're looking for a final 3-wave move to the downside. So the idea with this would be much the same. What we'd be saying is that we'd have this as A, B, and then we're looking for that C wave to the downside. Now within this idea, given our current high over here, 23.39 would align with that 1-to-1 level and would also align with the break of this diagonal trend line here. Now given the current structure here, with this move, we cannot cross 21.78. If we cross this 21.78, then the likelihood is that we are following a different count at that point. So these would be the two ideas here. So either we are looking at this move as effectively A, B, and then this whole move is the C, or alternatively, this whole move is just going to become the A wave here. And then we could see another push to the upside for this B wave, where we would be expecting price to get a rejection between this 50% and the 786 level before continuing its leg down in this additional C leg, which would also be in a 5-wave move, which would actually potentially push us down towards 1962 if we do get a move up towards the 0.618 level. So we're going to be keeping an eye on those levels as we move forward here. You know, if we do just see a 3-wave move down, I'm going to be looking for that confirmation of a break back above this diagonal here, and then starting to see something like this rallying to the upside if it is actually looking to complete in that point. And we're looking at this idea. With both of these ideas, invalidation is going to come by crossing back above this high. If we cross back above this high, which is sitting at this level here of this 38 cents, if we break back above that, the likelihood is that we are following a different count at that point. Now it is also possible, like I said, that this B wave could be incomplete, so we need to just be careful. I am looking for this diagonal idea to play out, but if we start to see price looking to rally and we start to break back above this 38 cents, we need to be on the lookout for something like this, where effectively we could have this as A, B, and then we're looking for a bigger C wave here, where we could be looking for a push towards this 54 cent to this 42 cent. Now at the moment, it wouldn't make a lot of sense that this is progressing up in a C wave, but it is possible that this could be A, B, and then we get a C wave to the upside. And instead of this being A, B, C, this would become W, this would become X, and then this would become our Y wave. So I'm still open to that interpretation that we could get a move up in a 3-wave structure here, looking to push us back up into some of these higher zones. If we do see something like that, then it's going to be important what happens after that, because that would then align with still being in that either B wave or within that 4th wave. So it's going to be key to see how we react here and what kind of structure starts to form. So if we are looking at this as a C wave, the only real way, given the beginning of this move, that this could look to play out is we would have to be saying that we're going to start to form a diagonal where this becomes our wave 1. We'd be looking for a wave 2. Then we'd be looking for another 3, 4, and 5 to the upside here, which could potentially look to push us up into that zone. Currently, the wave 3 would not be allowed to cross this 41.03. Anything above that would invalidate it. We have come down. We have touched onto this 854 area. And invalidation of this is this 22 cents. So if we stay above that, there is always the potential we could start to see some bullish price action to the upside here. But we'd need to see something along these lines for us to get more of a confirmation. So if we just come in here a little bit closer, what we'd need to see is a move doing something like this, where what we would say is that, you know, effectively this is wave 1. We have this as A, B, and C into this low as a wave 2, and then we need to see price starting to rally to the upside here. Now the target we'd want to hit is 26.72. There is not a lot that is going for this. We need to also be careful that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So because of that fact that if this is a flat, what we want to see is some strong price action to the upside. Follow this. If we just get 3 waves up, the likelihood is that this is actually becoming 1, 2, and then we're looking for that push down, or A, B, and then we're looking for that push down. If, however, we do continue to hold this area here of this 24 cents, we can potentially look for something like this to play out, but I'd need to see a move higher up here toward this 26.72, and what we'd want to see is price holding lows here, setting these higher highs, higher lows, and then looking for that break to the upside, something like that. The other alternative to these ideas is that we could either still be within this corrective move, like I said, where we could be looking for this B wave still to the downside. Now, if the B wave is incomplete, what we could still see is a move like this, where this becomes W, X, and Y. And now this is why, You know, even if we do start to get some price action to the upside here, we need to be very careful. More locally, we could have this as a smaller flat correction, or in this case, we could be looking for a bigger three-wave move, looking to push up to 34 to this 29-cent area. If we do see something like this, then the probability is that if it isn't three waves, we're going to continue to reject to the downside, because all of our counts at the moment are looking for either five-wave structure to the upside. So if we just form something in a clear corrective pattern like this, the likelihood would be that we're still going to see a push to the downside. Now, if we see something like this, this would actually align with coming into this lower green box area here, which would be a typical zone of an overshooting B wave. So we've already touched into this, but if we do see another push to the downside here, going to be watching this 1236 and this 1382 as a possible support zone that we might find some support come in here. Now, the idea with this would be pretty much the same here. We're looking for that possibility of this completing pretty soon here, and then looking for the bounce to the upside. Now, if we do see just a three-wave move to the upside, once again, this is what we were talking about. If we start to see five waves, this would align with that, where we could be looking at this as A, B, and then C. Once again, with this idea, we have the same potential for an overshooting B wave. If we see something that pushes into this 2200 to the 1787, the potential is still there that we could see this rally in five waves. So this is why it's going to become very key here. Within the diagonal idea, we are not allowed to cross this high. If we start to see price action pushing back above this high, then it's more probable that we are still within that B or that fourth wave, and that we still have a leg to the downside afterwards. Coming in and having a look at this idea of the B wave still playing out here, where we could argue this is W, X, Y, X, and then we're still looking for the Z. Now, within this idea, this would still align with that potential of seeing some continuation to the downside here. So with this idea, what we'd be saying is we'd be looking for a move down towards 2217 to this 2176. And within this, what we'd be saying is that this would be our A wave. This would be B 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 is what we are looking for to the downside. Now, what we would then be saying is that if this B wave is completed here, we would be looking for basically price to start to break down in an impulsive way. If we just see three waves down, obviously we need to be aware of that idea that this could just be looking to play out as a corrective move, and then we look to move back up. But if we start to see nice clean five-way structure to the downside, which pushes us down to this 2217, I'm going to be looking for this 2176 to this 2136 as a potential zone we could look to complete. Also, the one-to-one of this as a Z wave, so the one-to-one of the W wave is sitting at this 2196. Going to be keeping an eye on that level as well. If we do see this five-wave move develop to the downside, now the idea with this is effectively if this corrective move completes to the downside like this, we would be looking at that possibility of either this being an A wave, we get a bounce for a B and we get that push down, or alternatively what we'd be looking for would be the potential that this leg is extending down here. We're looking for this overshooting B wave area, and then we're looking to push to the upside. So if we do get that move down, we need to just be on the lookout for some kind of a reversal once we sweep this low, and then a bigger push to the upside, looking to grab some of the liquidity above these levels. Now, it is also possible here that we discussed this in some of the previous videos, that we could be having this, because we're looking for a fourth or B wave here, we could still have the potential here for a triangle. Now, the problem is this D wave is not very neat at the moment, and invalidation of this would be this 22-cent region. If we do see just a bigger three-wave move develop here as a zigzag, pushing us back into this 32.92 to this 30-cent 69, it is possible that we could be looking for this as a triangle. Now, as a triangle, what we'd want to see is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Three waves down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, back up into this. So a bigger zigzag pattern here. And if we do form something like this, this would then explain why this move is getting quite messy here. And then we'd still be looking for a five-wave move to the downside after that point if we do get this as a triangle. Now, like I said in the beginning, this would be looking for these lower targets here of this 20-cent 59 to this 1603. Potentially, if we get a triangle that completes lower down here, we might overshoot this area. So we need to just be on the lookout more structure-wise if we do see this play out in that way. Once again, if this B wave plays out as a triangle, this would then change the target area for this. where we would be looking for 1254 to this 1013. So we need to be very careful that, you know, if this completes as a triangle lower down here, we could see a more violent push to the downside if we continue to, you know, follow this idea. But at the moment, I'm still looking at this and thinking the most probable way that this is looking to play out is as this diagonal to the downside, but invalidation will come by crossing this 37.19. If we fail to take this high here, then I'm going to be continuing to look for this idea to the downside. And more locally here, if this is looking to complete as a diagonal pattern, what I would want to see is this have 3 waves down and then see a bigger 3-wave move to the upside, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the downside for the C wave, and then from there we'd be looking for that 4th and a 5th still. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video. Leave us some feedback down below, and also in the description you will find a link to the Discord. Come check it out, it's free to join. Everyone have a great day. We will see you in the next one. Take care.